They don't want to pay $100,000 a year for a dialer tech and a whole team to support it, right? And then they're
Yeah.
gonna have breakages and shit. I'm like, bro, let me handle all of that. I'm gonna handle the dialer. I'm gonna handle the marketing. All you have to do is make sure your agents do two very important things: get on the phone and close the fucking deals, and then
Yeah.
retain that policy. Like that is
Yeah.
already hard enough. As a sales agency, these guys are already cooked because they have to do those two pieces, which is very fucking difficult. And why you and I love to do what we do. Because it's like, as long as we can make $2 margin on every call, we can do that 3,000 times a day. We're printing cash. Whereas for them,
Yeah.
like literally just managing closers is fucking hard. And then managing the book after they close and making sure those people don't fall off the book is fucking hard.
All right, guys, welcome. We got another podcast in the mix. The wonderful Nate Ancelet. I didn't really know Nate before, but he showed up to San Diego, did a killer talk at my event, and he just had a lot of good things to say, man. Also, he's just a fucking funny guy to chat with. Like,
Appreciate
I don't know, man. You're good shit. I would love to get drunk with you sometime.
it. Dude.
You know,
Unfortunately,
like,
when I drink, a lot of times I just get sleepy. But if you catch me on a stressful week, that Friday night, oh dude, we'll have a great time. We'll just giggle, you know.
let me tell you, as a 41 soon to be or a 40-year-old soon to be 41-year-old man, I also get tired when I drink. So like we'll just have fun till like midnight, and
No,
then
to
just
like
like say goodbye.
10:30. To like
You know,
10:30,
yeah.
and then we're just like, yeah, it's been a good
Yeah,
game. I'm gonna
for
get the fuck to
sure.
bed, you know.
Like whenever I go to ASW, man, in like Vegas, I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to this club filled with fucking dudes. I don't give a shit. I'm gonna go to my bed. Thanks, guys. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah, absolutely.
But
Everyone asks me, "Are you
yeah.
going to the party after this?" I'm like, "If by party you mean like room service and like a chicken club and extra
Yeah.
ranch?
Yeah.
Oh God,
Yeah.
I'm getting nasty in my
Yeah.
bed, bro. You know what I mean?"
Maybe a little YouTube. I don't know, man. But
Yeah,
like
it's weird.
I'm not.
I like the hotel TV for no reason. Like the I don't. There's something really nostalgic about like shitty Tide
Yeah,
commercials or like
I
State
agree.
Farm. You know what I mean? I'm like, nice.
Yeah, dude, it's weird watching TV with commercials, man. And like I've just been like I've only had subscription shit for so fucking long now that I don't know where I was. Maybe it was in a hotel or something, and I was watching. I was like, "What is this commercial shit like?"
Yeah.
And my son doesn't understand. He's like two and like he's like 2.5 or whatever. And he's just like, "Why did the show stop, Dad?" And I'm like, well, let me tell you, these are
Yeah.
things. And he's just like, he gets mad. He's like, stop turning the show off. I'm like, no, dude, this is just a commercial. Like, this is how it goes, dude.
Like, what the
So,
hell, Dad? What are you doing?
dude, what the hell, Dad? Dude, everything's my fault, but whatever. What can you do? Everything's gonna be
Yeah.
his fault one day.
One day.
So tell us what the fuck you do.
Yeah, yeah. So, pay per call. We do pay per call. Only pay per call. We're a brokerage. We buy and sell traffic. We place it with our advertisers. We do our best to make affiliates money, and we do our best to make sure the buyers that are buying the traffic from the affiliates make money. And that's the game we play.
That's a win. That's
Yeah.
fun. Yeah. So, how long you been doing this for now?
Like 7 years, roughly.
Oh shit. Oh, that's
Yeah.
cool, man.
I turned
Uh,
27 this year, and I started when I was like at the end of like 19 years old. So
yeah.
8 years, 7 years, something.
That's cool, man. So how about we throw it back to when you first got started, how you sort of figured out this industry and how you kind of got to where you are today? Because I think
Yeah.
that like, I mean, dude, you're young. Like that's pretty fucking cool. But
I
I
appreciate
also
it.
I feel like as this industry goes on, like everyone's just gonna get younger and younger, which is great. I love it. So give
Yeah.
me the rundown. How'd you get started?
Yeah, so I think one of the reasons why I got into this so young was because my skill set was never in media buying. It was never in like specific sales. I really suck at everything. Just for some reason, I'm good at like talking to people that want to buy calls and be like, "Oh, I can get you calls," and they're like, "All right," and I'm like, "Oh,
Yeah.
you wanna?" And they're like, "Yeah," and I'm like, "Ah, all right." And for some reason, it works. You know what I mean? Like for everything else, dude, you ask me to do anything, I'm pretty bad at it. So when I first got started in this. Um, I was running traffic. Oh God, all the way back. I kind of found out about the leads game because I
Yeah.
was working as a closer on a debt settlement floor.
Oh
Um,
no.
and it sucked. I hated that job so much. When you're just talking to people all day long about, hey, do you want to get a debt settlement program? And they're just like, this sounds like a horrible deal. And you're like, it is. And you're just like, God, this sucks. You know what I mean? But you have to hit your
Yeah.
numbers and you're like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
bro. So there's a lot of reasons why I didn't like doing the debt settlement thing. However, I got an understanding of like what it's like to be a salesperson on a sales floor, boiler room, TV on the on, TV on the wall with like the numbers of the leaderboard for the day for
Mhm.
closes and shit. And and so I liked that atmosphere, but I didn't like being on the phones closing deals. And I always pictured myself maybe being the manager or something. I ended up quitting that job, and then I looked online to figure out how the fuck I could get rich because it was February 14th. I remember it was February 14th, like 2018, 2019, whatever. And I was like, how to get rich? Because I knew I wanted a super hot girlfriend, and I was like, if I
Yeah.
want a super hot girlfriend, I gotta have a lot of bread. So
Yeah.
set it up, and then I found drop shipping. And I don't need to go through the
Yeah.
whole thing about drop shipping. I sucked at drop shipping for about 9 months. Through that, I met somebody who I did cold emails for. And this
Yeah.
guy that was doing cold emails was like, bro, I've got this client and he needs solar leads. Can you generate solar leads? And I was like, hell yeah, I can do Facebook all day. So set it up, started run. We actually saw some success there. And then we decided to no longer work with that client because he started to be an asshole. So I was like, all
Yeah.
right, we're not gonna do this anymore. We're making good money, but it's like no longer worth it. He's stressing us out. So we no longer worked in that business anymore. And we basically said sayonara to each other, all love between me and that business partner. We just didn't want to do that anymore. I had a couple coins in my pocket, so I was good. Um, he goes, yo, before you leave, I'm gonna drop you into this like Skype chat. Do you have Skype? And I was like, no. And he's like, dude, you need to download Skype. And I was like,
Yeah.
why? Like, what the fuck do I need Skype for? Right. And then he was like,
Yeah.
no, seriously, download this chat. I'm gonna add you to this chat, and I think you're gonna like it. And I was like, all right, bet. So he adds me into this chat, and it turns out it's the Retriever call tracking software. It's the Retriever group chat. And all day long, I start scrolling through this chat, and it's buying calls at 50, selling calls at 60, buying this, auto insurance that, fucking health insurance this. And I'm going, whoa. And then I see debt settlement. Someone's like,
Yeah.
yo, I have debt settlement live leads. Who wants them? And I'm going, oh shit, that's how that works. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, and everything clicked in my brain. So then I started to, dive deep on it. This was that like right before 2020 when I had gotten started into it. So I started really gaining some momentum. Started to work for one of the networks in our space. We're still friends. We didn't do much together because as soon as I started, everything collapsed because all the call centers shut down because of COVID.
Oh
So
shit. Yeah.
yeah, everything just went to shit. And I was like, oh no. We tried to figure it out. They were running heavily in like travel, like hotel and like flight calls.
Yeah. Got
Um
it.
and that was crushing for them. They're doing numbers. And then literally overnight, like I'm sure you have campaigns scaling, and then everything went to shit. They were doing millions a month and then it went to nothing. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna try solar, and then all the call centers went. So I was like, oh fuck. But then after we did that for a while, I stopped working with that network, and I just kept being consistent, kept grinding, trying to find new deals, learning, failing, TCPA lawsuits. You know what I'm saying? Just
Hmm.
like tons of shit you have to deal with, getting burnt by
Yeah.
buyers, and then we live to fight another day.
That's amazing, man. Yeah, and the COVID stuff was interesting, man, because nobody really knew what the fuck was going to happen. It kind of just like
Yeah,
all halted seriously, but then they moved everyone home for call centers. Like everyone
yeah,
just like worked from home on that, and like I think it like that was right around the time when auto was cranking, but then it really died out right around that time. And I remember some networks were just like straight up like we're done with this niche, and that like for networks to say that they're killing one of the biggest niches, like that was just like, oh
yeah,
shit, what's gonna happen here?
yeah.
Um, but yeah, man, it was interesting, but I don't really,
How did COVID
yeah.
affect auto though? Like people are still driving, no? Or was everyone just in their house so they didn't need to re-up
Well,
on
no,
like
because I think what was happening is like people were driving less.
yeah,
Because there was nowhere for them to go, right? Like there was some
yeah,
like there was major lockdowns and shit, and like people weren't going to work. So
yeah,
I think the amount of car ownership dropped as well.
damn,
Like especially if you live like
inner
I
city.
don't know, but like yeah, you're not transporting, like you're not going to an office. You're working
Yeah,
from home. So like just like why
yeah,
do I have this expense? And like we all know like the average person is like barely making it by. So yeah, they're just gonna axe everything. But that's my assumption on that anyway. But Yeah, it kind of died out there, but then it came back, obviously like it had to.
It's interesting you say that because I know around the same time, Allstate was one of obviously the largest, if not the largest
Yeah,
aggregator of traffic. I don't know on the lead side because I'm not a lead guy.
yeah,
However, on the calls, about the same time, Allstate completely died and pulled out because they were heavily reliant on transfers and they had a
yeah,
several $1 million TCPA lawsuit come down that completely shut them down. Like I know guys that all they did was run auto insurance transfers. They had call
yeah,
centers that were completely built on running auto transfers to Allstate and Allstate agents. And then they
yeah,
clipped that shit. And I honestly think that was right about the same time that that happened because auto was never big. Auto has, since I've started since 2020, auto has never been a big vertical compared to the health insurances, right? And life insurance and
yeah.
FE, Medicare. Like and everyone talks about running auto, but everyone just talks about the forms. No one really talks about calls.
Yeah, so I think for me, like our biggest industries or niches back then were like auto insurance, home insurance, and mortgage refinance. Those were like the
Got it.
kind of the top three, and everyone just cranked on those. But then, like obviously with rates going up on the mortgage side, that killed that. And then yeah, the auto insurance kind of died out. But then auto made a big comeback. Like I don't know, I would probably say like 2 years ago, and then
Really?
everyone started pushing it pretty hard. Yeah, so and even to this day, people still are like, dude, I get blasted with auto insurance all day, like crazy shit too, like EBT card, like auto insurance discounts, like you name it, I get it. So
And it's
it's
sad
pretty
too
wild.
because a lot of my affiliates, when they try to run, because we're running auto inbounds right now, not
Yeah,
heavily, not as heavy as some of our health insurance stuff, but we're doing decent volume in it, and I am looking to scale that. And we're bringing on some direct media buyers, and they're doing well. Like we have arguably some of the best RPCs in the game right now, which is fire.
yeah,
But I'm getting creative sent to me, and today I got a reduction act creative
yeah,
and
yeah,
it was like insurance reduction program or insurance reductive reduction act. And I was like, guys, like I can't take anything government related. And they're like, do you see what these other guys are running? And I'm like, yes. However, I want to make sure that I get paid and I want to
yeah,
make sure that I can pay you and everybody else that's in my network and everyone else that's running these calls. Like we don't hear, oh, I'm looking for the insurance reduction act when somebody inbound calls in. We're hearing if like the worst thing we're hearing is like, yo, I'm looking for the $29 insurance. And it's like, well, Susie, let's see what you qualify for. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, let's see what we can do. You know?
I feel like
Um,
it's tough, man, because there's such a big disconnect between like your side, like, and I understand that you know what's going on. I'm not saying that you don't, but I'm saying that like there's such a big disconnect between like what's actually working for most people versus what like buyers expect.
yeah,
Because and here's the thing, and this is like the age old like conversation of like, well, if you can pay the buyers a lot more for quality, obviously they can run a lot cleaner, right?
yeah,
But then the problem is like they have to start at like at a baseline to see if the quality's there, and then you get paid more. So
yeah,
realistically, if you like as an affiliate, if you want to be smart, you have to like kind of just like eat shit for a couple months to get that
yeah,
quality and to be like, hey, pay me more and I'll keep driving more traffic, and then it works out. But nobody really comes into this space because everyone's like, I mean, there's the big guys who know how to do it and like whatever, but then there's like everyone else who's just like, hey, I'm trying to get rich off spending, 10 grand here, 5 grand here. I'm gonna do whatever it fucking takes, and I don't give a shit about anybody else.
yeah,
So yeah, it's tough. It's tough in that sense, but I don't know, man. It's like if you go look in the ad library, everything's like clapped out. Like refi
yeah,
is like straight up Trump images, like
yeah.
it's all just like final expense. Like I've heard that that's just like gone crazy in terms of like what people are pushing for it. Like it's just like it's another like ACA, but it's not even comparable. So
Yeah, no, it's not. And we have a lot of affiliates. It sucks too, because like I have my course, I have my community that I've built where
yeah,
like we're teaching people this stuff, but it's hard because these guys are coming to me like, oh, dude, I've got this really awesome publisher. I'm ready to go. And I'm like, send me over the creatives. And then yeah, it's like if you die tomorrow, do you want a paycheck coming into your account for $90,000 and all you have to do is apply to this one program in 2 minutes, you can be qualified. And I'm like, guys, we our buyers don't even offer $90,000 final expense deal. Like, you know what
yeah,
I mean? And so we're trying to figure out what that balance is between too aggressive and not too aggressive. But then at the same time, right? It's really fucked up because in final expense right now, I have guys that are running Google search, right? We
yeah,
track their click IDs, right?
yeah,
They're running something that says life insurance up to $40,000 policy call today if you're interested. Here's some of the qualifiers, blah, blah, blah. They're calling in. We're not necessarily mentioning you have to pay $80 a month or starting at 30 bucks, but
Yeah, but
we're not
whatever.
saying anything about free. People are
Clean
calling
enough.
in, bro.
Yeah.
They're calling in saying, yeah, I got this piece of mail. I'm just calling you back. And it's like we don't do direct mail. So I don't know what fucking phone number you called, but like I see that
Yeah.
the click ID came from this Google search ad. So these people are seniors, love them. Sorry, grandma. But like if you get a piece of mail or if you're seeing something on the television while you're watching Price is Right,
Yeah.
or if you're scrolling Facebook while you're watching Price is Right, and you see an ad and then you go to Google search and look at final expense because you just saw this final expense ad, that doesn't mean that it's the same fucking company that's running all of
Yeah.
these ads, right? It's not all the same
Yeah.
company. And they literally don't recognize that. And so it's hard because when I'm trying to sell the calls to the buyer,
Yeah.
right? When I'm trying to sell the calls to the buyer and they're hearing the free angle coming in, they're like, dude, what the hell? And I'm like, please look at our click ID. Like this is the ad. Look. And then they're just scratching their head going, what the hell do we do? So what I've had to do is I've had to basically assist them in recreating the sales process for final expense specifically to accommodate the influx of this kind of traffic. And all you have to do
Mhm.
really is just change the script, make sure that you're asking the proper questions and asking those questions correctly. Because like
Yeah.
with leads, right? I feel like it's harder to maintain quality with leads because you guys have zero control and transparency over their sales process. And I
It
feel
is
like your
challenging
guys
for
is,
sure.
I feel like the success rate for maintaining buyers is probably a lot more difficult than because with calls, I can be like, bro, I gave you the script. Listen to the call recording. Like you did not stay on script, homie. Like how are
Yeah.
you gonna blame me when you're using the wrong rebuttals? Because you think Johnny over there that's been closing for a year and a half knows more about how to close these calls than my entire QA team, where we've sent over 100,000 phone calls this year. Like that,
Yeah.
we listen to every call,
Yeah.
score the call,
Yeah.
score the agent, like, and then we built a script for you. But oh no, you're right. You know more. You know more about this than I do. You're right.
Yeah,
You
I
know?
mean, on the lead side of things, like you're right, it's harder because we don't have access to the recording. So what we'll do sometimes, man, when they're like, "Oh, your quality's dropped, your contact rates dropped, or whatever," we'll just like fill out the forms and like wait for a call back. And then
Yeah.
we're
Okay.
getting the call back, and it says like suspected spam, and I was like, "This
Yeah.
is why your shit sucks."
Yeah.
Fix your
Yeah.
numbers, or like sometimes we'll not get a call back at all, and it's like one call back, and then that's it. And I'm like, dude, this is why everything sucks because you guys suck. So
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
don't have full transparency. We got to like sneak around sometimes to figure it
Got
out.
it.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. But calls is definitely better in that sense for sure.
Why
So
do you mostly run forms and not calls? I don't run media buys internally, so I don't really know. Like I would love to know more about that on your side. Why you would say leads is your focus compared to calls?
uh to be honest, there's no reason except for just like I'm stuck in my old ways. Like we ran
Yeah.
ACA, like we ran a ton of ACA, but we were in a position, luckily, with one of my best friends who runs a lot of ACA, and we just sort of like piggybacked off
Yeah.
them. They had a tech for us, they set everything up, and they're like, hey, just buy like a Ringba or a Retriever account, set everything up, and then we just ran that. But like, yeah, we ran calls for probably a year and a half. We ran ACA until
Got it.
recently.
Yeah.
So we do run it. It's honestly, it's all the same shit. Like everyone's like, oh,
Yeah.
your marketing has to be quite different, but like it's not really that different. Everyone uses the
Yeah.
same stupid chat lander.
Hmm.
It's all the same stuff. So um yeah, I like both, to be honest. It was good. I didn't jump on that final expense train, man, and like maybe that was a mistake on my part, and there's still time, but I was just like, oh man, this just seems like a race to the bottom again, and I don't know if I want to play that game.
Yeah.
Um, I feel like we all get shiny object syndrome in this space, and everything seems fucking fantastic. And that being said, like, dude, people make bread off shiny object syndrome, like,
Yeah.
just like always hopping to the next thing. But yeah, I don't know. We just didn't do that. So
Yeah, no, I feel you. And like with calls, especially, it's really the same thing. And like I made a YouTube video and like in my opinion, from my perspective, and my 7 years in this game, talking to different pubs that do leads, some guys that do calls, and why one is potentially better than the other. And I make arguments for both in that video. And it really I just go over like, yeah, like leads, like you're typically working on monthly net 30, you don't have transparency, you know what I'm saying? But then
yeah,
with calls, like it costs more to generate a call than it does a form, right? Like
for sure.
these auto guys, right? They're paying up to $150 a call And then
Hmm.
the forms, it's like what, capped at $14 a lead, like the
Yeah.
the aggregators of the world, $3 on the off times, and then up to like
Hmm.
$14, I believe is like the offers, and then it depends on state and stuff. Like, yeah, bro, we don't have a single call that gets sold for less than, I think our lowest bid right now is $30 in our
Yeah.
marketplace, and then it goes up to 150. And so it's
Yeah.
like that's crazy, you know what I mean? But it costs a lot more to generate. What
Yeah.
sucks is when you have these buyers that are like, understand it costs so much more to generate, but then they hit you with that, monthly net 30, monthly net 45, and it's like, bro, I
Yeah.
don't know how you expect us to push it 100K a day with that kind of, with that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you really have to have a big bankroll for that kind of thing. One thing I will say though is I am noticing that a lot of industries are moving towards calls because like if they already have the sales floor set up for that, it just makes more sense.
It
Like
totally,
you're removing a big piece of the process. The downside is like unless you're gathering the information, there's no like email retargeting or anything like that. But I mean, you got SMS, you got other stuff. Like it's all the same.
yeah,
So
I think a lot of it has to do with like, but because like my clients that are large call centers, right? Like I have clients that are networks and stuff, but I also obviously represent direct large buyers. They have 100 agents, 500 agents. What I've noticed is guys that are like, if you're under 30 to 50 agents as a call floor, their number one KPI is CPA. That is what they're
yeah,
focused on. But when you start breaking through that plateau, your KPIs start to change because like these guys are funded, billions
yeah,
of dollars funded because they write millions in premium a week. They got ACA, they got Medicare, they got final expense, they got private U65, right? And that's not even including other ancillaries that are non-insurance related, Medicare, you know what
hmm,
I'm saying, different products and services. So when you're running those kinds of revenues, their KPI is time wasted by agents. And if they feel that their
interesting.
agents are outbound dialing, one, they're costing in VoIP, right? Two, they're costing in just hourly. Three, if they have 300 agents, let's say you have, your top 30% of those agents are actual absolute rock star gorillas, high performing
Hmm.
closers, right? That was a lot of adjectives to explain a good closer.
I bet
But
30% is high too.
it
Like
probably is, right? I'm just throwing out
yeah,
like let's say
for sure.
20%, right?
Yeah.
So either way, that 20%, right, of 300 people, you have a pretty heavy amount of individuals that can be writing if they're just getting served calls all day, they're not wasting any time outbound dialing and trying to get connects and setting appointments for people,
Yeah.
and then they go to that appointment at 6 p.m. and nobody shows up, and they had another call earlier that said they could only do 6, and so now it's opportunity cost. Like all of these problems that go with the outbound dialing model compared
Hmm.
to someone's calling in right now, they're interested in a product or service, they're ready to go, all they need to do is be qualified and then closed, right?
Hmm.
Now the amount of time, if your agents are spending, let's even just say very conservatively 3 hours a day times 300 agents, 900 hours, right, man hours per day times 5 days a week times 4 weeks, all of a sudden these hours that you're spending 15, 18, $20 an hour on, right? And then you're also not receiving their production. They're not getting
Yeah.
close on those 3 or 4 hours because all they're doing is outbound dialing to try to get closes later. So these
Hmm.
KPIs start to change. And now my
Hmm.
clients are going, dude, like I need you to keep me full because every minute that these 300 agents are not on calls, we are just throwing money out the door, right? And they're,
Yeah.
a lot of these times, especially when they get acquired, their fucking KPIs they have to meet are like they're like razor thin margins. And if they go a little over, all of a sudden they're getting swatted by their VC or their,
Interesting.
their
Yeah.
equity fund partner. And then now they have some serious issues and conversations they have to start having. And that shit's
Yeah.
hard to manage regardless, right? So
That
yeah,
makes a lot of sense.
another thing that calls
Yeah.
is where the industry is starting to move to. I think people have been interested, but a lot of people don't have the infrastructure to support an inbound. Like perfect example is a lot of I've got clients on final expense that have over 100 agents, and right now all their agents are doing is burning through outbound data or burning through data for outbound dialing, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, let's set up on our dialer. We'll take your calls." Every time I do that, they fumble. Their dialer breaks because their outbound dialer that is capable of placing hundreds of thousands of calls every hour or whatever, is
Hmm.
not able to withstand the 250,000 ping attempts that come in from my system of us trying to send them calls and determining, oh,
Yeah.
which one should we go to, right? Their system can't even withstand it. So that's why we actually just built out Policy Printer, which is so that people can have a dialer and they have the calls, and all they have to do is just put their agents on the dialer, and then they can just fucking rip. Like day one, they're taking calls,
Easy.
10 to 20 calls a day, and like, because that's a problem, bro. These agencies, like, they don't want to pay $100,000 a year for a dialer tech and a whole team to support it, right? And then they're
Yeah.
gonna have breakages and shit. I'm like, bro, let me handle all of that. I'm gonna handle the dialer. I'm gonna handle the marketing. All you have to do is make sure your agents do two very important things: get on the phone and close the fucking deals, and then
Yeah.
retain that policy. Like, that is
Yeah.
already hard enough. As a sales agency, these guys are already cooked because they have to do those two pieces, which is very fucking difficult. And why you and I love to do what we do, because it's like, as long as we can make, you know, $2 margin on every call, and we can do that 3 times or 3,000 times a day, we're printing cash. Whereas for them,
Yeah.
like, literally just managing closers is fucking hard. And then managing the book after they close and making sure those people don't fall off the book is fucking hard. So it's like,
Yeah.
every time I tell them that, they're just like, oh my God, like, I need this product. I'm like, I know, 5 grand, let's go. You know,
Yeah.
easy.
That's
You know what I
amazing,
mean?
man.
You know?
Did you just finish that up or?
Yeah, yeah. So about, I don't know, probably about a month before I started my group, I started doing something that I actually learned a very big lesson on. So I mean this in absolutely no way arrogant. I'm just very loud. Like, one time
Yeah.
somebody told me, it actually kind of ruined our friendship. He said, Nate, because I hit him up, I'm like, bro, we're trying to do this. Like, what the fuck? Like, you told me you could do it. Nate, you're the smallest and you're the loudest. And when he told me that, I was like, oh, you have no idea how loud I can be. You
Yeah.
have no fucking clue. So I was like, all right, like, I'm gonna really do it, right? And so that's when I started going, I'm gonna see if I start banging the drum of final expense, what's gonna happen. And
Yeah.
you literally said it like 5 minutes ago. I started telling everybody and their mother, and I'm very well connected in this industry, only again because I suck at everything except biz dev. So I just know a lot of
Yeah.
people, right? So I
Mhm.
started texting, I started calling, I started DMing, yo, bro, what are you doing for FE? What are you doing? Most people were like, oh, I'm not doing much, right? And then I started hitting up the networks, and then the networks started going, oh, Nate's got a good offer. So, and then they start talking to their other buyers, saying, oh shit, there's actually a lot of people looking for FE right now, not just Nate. And then they
Yeah.
started, and then all of a sudden this blew up. And it's funny because
Yeah.
there's other individuals in the space that I know that are very, very good, way bigger, way better than I am. And they told me, they're like, Nate, I hope you learned a lesson, because now we see what the state of the union is for final expense. Everyone's ripping dirty shit. Everyone's competing for cap. Everyone's competing for everything around final expense. And I was like,
Yeah.
I learned a lesson. I can't be, like, I can't just be spraying around to everybody exactly what we're doing, because then shit gets cooked.
Yeah, I mean, but as long as you can like back it up and take that volume, man, it's fine. I don't see there
Yeah.
being a problem with it. Like
Well, what
whatever.
happens, right? What happens is exactly what we talked about, which is just saturation of super non-compliant traffic. Because all of a
Yeah,
sudden everyone wants to rip it. And then, affiliates, right? If they see one thing that's working, they're gonna, one, rip that shit. And if they find out, if it's like a super affiliate, like, they all know what their fucking pages names are and
for
like
sure.
different shit. They know their angles.
Yeah,
So I know some
yeah,
affiliates that will look at an ad and be like, I know exactly who that ad is just because I know how they do their ads, right?
yeah,
Like, so they'll just get there and then rip it. And so what's happening is, like we said, it's turning into the ACA in a race to the bottom, and that happened in like 4 months. And then again, that's affecting all of our other clean campaigns because
yeah.
they're seeing this shit and then they're seing other ads, and it's a whole,
I think it was also like the perfect storm though, because ACA really tailed off at the like exact time, and they're like, we've built entire companies around
yeah,
ACA. Where the fuck are we going? And it's either like
yeah,
Medicare, which will not put up with that shit at all, or
no,
so they say. Every year
yeah,
it's like, oh, they're gonna be super strict and super clean this year, and then like
yeah,
2 months in, you see like Biden sitting on a bench being like, free Medicare for everyone, like
yeah,
whatever. I
yeah,
don't know, but
cooked.
yeah, so I think the transition from ACA to something was needed, and like everyone had all this call infrastructure set up, so they're like, oh, we'll
Yeah.
just go FE, and like I heard that even some of the big ACA houses were like switching their call centers to manage FE instead. So
Several. I have one of my biggest clients in Medicare. Actually, one of my first clients in Medicare. He was my first client in Medicare. He's one of the guys I'm talking about that has adjusted his KPIs. And it used
yeah,
to be, when we started working together 6, 7 years ago, he had like less than 100 agents. Now they're over 300, and
yeah,
he's moving. a significant amount of his workforce that are salespeople to final expense as we speak. And the main reason is because it's private, right? They don't
Yeah.
have to worry about, they're literally not concerned about government funding. They're not concerned about
Nice.
legislation. Like, bro,
Yeah.
if you, that's building it on a sturdy foundation. Building a company on ACA right now, like we literally saw with all, I think is it Alliance, I think that was the name of it, the funding partner for a lot of these ACA floors. And excuse me if I'm wrong to anybody watching this that knows what the fuck they're talking about.
Yeah.
The ACA funding partner just told a bunch of floors, we're no longer funding deals. Everything you've submitted to us, you're not getting funded for. And they're like,
Ouch.
oh fuck. And then we have all these affiliates. I know probably half a dozen affiliates right now that are owed easy over 60 grand from their different floors. And that's just the people I fucking know. And these are people that
Yeah.
are withheld quarter million, half a million, millions of dollars in funding from their people to pay out their affiliates. And it just got cooked overnight. And so
Yeah.
that's the thing is like, a lot in final expense is it's direct from carrier. So they're much less concerned about a funding partner coming in and ruining it or whatever. And I'm not an expert when it comes to financials, but all I'm saying is final expense for whatever reason is just a lot more sturdy, as far as something that you can build and maintain, simply because it has nothing like Medicare funded by the government, ACA funded by the government. Like they're not worried about that.
Yeah, that's fair. Interesting, man. Were you around for the ACA train, and did you get like were you doing a lot of calls at that point?
So really funny that you asked that because yes and no. I made a very, very, very big mistake as a business owner.
Yeah.
And I learned from that mistake very well. And what that mistake was I had this period of my life where I was like, dude, I changed my name on Instagram. Okay. I'm 27. That's a big fucking deal, right? I changed my name on Instagram to Call Center King. And the reason why I
Yeah.
did that was because I was branding my entire brand around being the live transfer guy. I
Yeah.
was the guy that people came to for the outbound generated call center shit that sent in. We always had low CPAs. We always maintained compliance. It was fire. The problem was I was looking at my network friends that were running 150 fucking CC of inbounds at any given time, 150
Yeah.
concurrent calls at any given time, just stacked, doing like 100 grand a day, 150 grand, 200 grand a day. And I'm going, holy, how are you guys doing that? Because I was running at like 30, 40 CC thinking I was big dog, you know what I mean? Like running heavy
Yeah.
calls. And like, that's pretty good, right? You're doing, I don't know, 40, 60, maybe $70,000 a day at 30 CC. But these guys were doing 30, 50, 100% more than I was in revenue. And
Hmm.
I'm going, what? How the fuck are you guys doing that? And I just came to realize, and my mistake in business was I'm going to do something different. In the affiliate game, you really, different means cost. Different means opportunity cost. If something's
Yeah.
fucking working, you replicate that shit and you do it a little bit better. If you can do it a little bit better, do it. If you can't and you
Hmm.
can do it equal as good, bro, rip that shit. Just find out what works and go for it. And like the
Yeah.
biggest thing that I learned and what that mistake really was is, Nate, if all of the big ships have turned and are going this way, don't be that little motherfucker in a rowboat in the storm, because there's probably a fucking storm. Like there's a reason the big
Yeah.
ships have turned this way. And if you're that
Yeah.
little motherfucker, like, no, I'm just gonna do this. And bro, when literally massive multi-hundred million, billion-dollar enterprises, Go Health says, guys, we are no longer doing Medicare. We are only gonna buy final expense traffic for AEP, which is what they said this year, right?
Yeah.
When someone like that, or at least that's what I was told. I'm like 99% sure that happened. But anyway, point is, when somebody as large as one of the largest Medicare advertising or Medicare buyers switches over to one thing, that should send alarms in everyone's head going, oh, if that's where the big boys are turning, that's where the budgets are going. If that's where the budgets are going, that's probably where me as an affiliate should go as
Yeah.
well. And me trying to go this
Yeah.
other little direction, like, again, there's probably a reason they turn, and usually that's because there's a motherfucking storm coming, and then you're gonna get,
Yeah.
you're gonna get cooked.
Yeah. Dude, I kind of like for the ACA thing, like originally when everyone was jumping on, I was like, ah, whatever, man. Cause I've been in this space so long and I just see so many people jump on niches. I'm like, fuck it, whatever, bro. Like I'll
Yeah,
stick to the same five that I'm used to and so on and so forth. And like
yeah,
that being said, like we try new niches all the time, but like for that, I didn't really have the tech support to do it and I really didn't dive into it. So it was like there was a little barrier to entry on that. I could have figured
yeah,
it out, but I was like, ah, fuck it, whatever, I don't care.
yeah,
I feel like that was a big mistake. And like, even though tons of people got no pay on it, I still think so many people are up so much on the ACA run that
Oh
I'm
yeah.
like, I kind of fucked up on that. And I know I fucked up on that, Cause like, dude, a niche that pays you decent payouts and you can literally run whatever the fuck you want. That's like everyone's wet dream when it comes to this shit,
Yeah.
So it's like,
Swear. Swear.
yeah, but
And
I
it's
don't know.
free to
It
the
is what it is.
consumer. That's the biggest
Yeah.
part is it's literally
Right.
free to
Like,
the consumer. And you can generate whatever the fuck ad you want. And then when the people call in, they have like a 50 to 80% enrollment rate because it's free and they get
yeah.
something for it. Like that's
And you're
insane.
targeting the biggest fucking American market, which is
Oh
like
yeah.
everyone who makes 50 grand or less. Like it's just like, dude,
Yeah.
it's the perfect storm. And
Yeah.
like I dropped the ball on it. We jumped on it later and we made some money from it, but like, dude, we're not making like anything close to what some of the bigger houses that ran that shit
Yeah.
made, like
Yeah.
even with the lawsuits that some of these guys got, they're still like up.
Oh
So like,
God. That was
yeah,
just a swat on the hand. Yeah, dude. These guys
yeah.
are
So
writing 3, 4 million
yeah.
a week in premium. They don't give a fuck.
Yeah. So that was definitely like a learning lesson for me as well. It's just like, yeah, you don't always know what's up, bro. Like
Yeah, I
try
feel you.
try everything, which is what I tell everyone. They're like, I always tell everyone, just fucking test everything and then go
Always be
to where the
testing.
money's always be
Always be
testing, right?
testing. You know what I'm
So
saying?
yeah, that's cool, man. So you're mostly focused on final expense now. Awesome. Are you going all in on that or are you kind of excited about any other niches?
So when it comes to niches, my focus is a paper called brokerage. I know I touched about it very kind of lightly. I'm focused on building out Policy Printer right now, which again is the
Yeah.
the dialer platform, and I just focus on the insurances because I just know it. And
Yeah.
basically, what we're focused on right now is onboarding smaller agencies between like 3 and 20 agents. And we're just stacking them on, bro. And we've got them for final expense, we've got them for Medicare, and we've got them for auto because we
Yeah.
know we have absolute heat traffic and all of it because our partners are arguably some of the best in the fucking world.
Nice, man.
So if we have the call traffic and we just need the distribution, I can go out and get distribution because I know how to get distribution. And the biggest problem is I'm moving away from the larger buyers.
Yeah.
Because bro, I'm tired of motherfuckers holding, 250 grand against me because one call came in. I'm like, bro, you guys have put 10,000, 15, 20,000 policies on the books and then you're going to
Yeah.
hold my cash that we use to generate that because one call came in from a source that we ran for a
Yeah.
day and shut off. Like, what do
Yeah.
you? And but of course, they don't have any transparency into that. But it's like, don't don't sit there and hold your dick like, oh, I can do whatever I want because I'm the one with the budget. And actually, you know what? Feel free, do that. But I'm not going to send you my traffic. Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So we
Yeah.
started working with the smaller agencies. They're prepaying us. They're coming on board. They listen to us. I literally give them the sales script. I give them scrubbed call recordings so you can't hear the consumer or the buyer or the policy information. But they're coming on the platform. They know what the calls
Yeah.
are going to sound like. They're ready to rebuttal. And then my boy Luke, he just came out with this gangster, absolutely gangster AI sales training platform. And so I'm
That's
starting to add
amazing.
that in. So it's like what I've also realized is when you're working with these smaller agencies, a lot of them, bro, they don't need help with the marketing. They don't just need help with the dialer. You literally have to do everything. You have to teach
Hmm.
them how to close. You have to teach them how to manage the dialer. You have to teach them
Yeah.
all of these things. And so I've also realized in business, you really got to focus, right? You have to
Yeah.
focus. And even us
Yeah.
focusing on multiple verticals and me doing this school group and stuff like that. Like there's a method to my madness and there's a reason why I'm doing everything. But like this morning I woke up and I was looking at the ceiling. I was like, I don't want to do shit. I'm literally gonna do Gabe's podcast and everybody else can fuck off for the day.
Yeah.
I just don't fucking care. My team can
Yeah.
manage everything. They don't need me. And if anything,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna bark at somebody because I'm over it. Um,
Yeah.
but anyway, so yeah, the focus for us right now in our organization, Money Printer Marketing, is focusing on supplying traffic for our other organization, which is Policy Printer.
Yeah.
Again, we still have some of the larger clients, like we've got big FE guys, we've got big auto
Yeah.
guys,
Yeah.
got a big Medicare buyer that came on.
Yeah.
Like we still have it, and I'm not going to turn business down because I have the entire infrastructure to support it. But yeah, the
Yeah.
focus is on building out the campaigns for Policy Printer right now.
Yeah. You got to fund that shit too, right? Like you got to keep the lights on. So
Yeah,
it doesn't make sense to kill something too soon, right? So,
yeah,
um, that's cool, man. That's exciting. Yeah, just with like your point on managing everything, bro. It's a lot, dude. And like you're a young guy, you got lots of energy and shit like that. But like, dude, managing like between like even just like social medias, team,
yeah,
buyers, all that stuff, like it's a fucking lot. I for me personally, I feel like I had more energy when I was just like solo running campaigns versus like where I'm
Really?
at now, where I'm like, I got I got like a full team, like and I'm not actually doing like head down work. I'm just
Yeah.
like just
Managing?
making sure everything's running smoothly, you know? So
Yeah.
I totally feel you there, bro. But like
Managing's hard, bro, because I think it's like it's a different kind of stressful when you're doing it
yeah,
on your own and you're just this fucking nomad and you're ripping
yeah,
shit and you're kind of high on life because you're like whatever. But then when you have a team, the responsibility that that carries, because I have people that are literally supporting their entire family on one income, and that income is the income they're getting from working for me, right? And
yeah,
so it's like if my infrastructure goes down, if my organization goes down, they won't feed their kids, and right, and I'm just like
yeah,
holy shit, like this is heavy. And so that is a stress that is added on compared to when, yeah, when you're young and you're just doing it on your own and you're just like, yeah, if
yeah,
I suck, I'm just going to go to the bar and get $2 shots and waste it away, and I'll wake up tomorrow and rip another
yeah,
campaign, you know what I mean? We live to fight another day. But like,
yeah.
man, when you got kids to get fed, oh my god, bro, stressful.
Yeah, it's different for sure, man. That's exciting. How's your school group going?
Good, dude. Good. We actually, I just signed paperwork to move over to fan basis because fuck school.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just horrible. If anybody's watching this and is like considering about creating a course, please don't do it on school. As a marketer, bro. Like if you came to me as like a growth operator as a marketer and you're like, yo, Nate, let's scale your school, you would laugh because I was like, bro, you realize there's zero attribution. I cannot attribute sales from Facebook, sales from Instagram, sales from organic content. Nothing is attributable. So
Interesting.
I just, oh, bro, it's, and like
Yeah.
that's literally one of the main things that sucks. There's so many things that sucks about that platform. It's very good for somebody that's like, I don't know what I'm doing. I think I want to train people how to make bread every morning. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
go for it. But like, if you want to scale something to 100, 200, $500,000 a month and like revenue and like make it a real
Yeah.
ass info organization, like, yeah, school's horrible. But either way, we just flipped over to Fanbase. It's going good. We have grown by 10% in the past 5 days, which is dope.
Interesting.
Um, and yeah, we're like 400 and I think like 430, 440. Yeah, 431 members as of right now. So that's pretty dope.
Dumb question on the fan basis. Like I use fan basis, but like, so do you just run it like as like a Discord group or a Telegram group, or like
Telegram.
how do you have that? Oh, got it. Okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah. And then what's nice about like another thing that's nice about it, shout out fucking fan bases. Actually haven't implemented it yet, so I'm gonna shout out fan bases out of the theory that they gave me. However, what's great about it is like it's integrated. So if somebody like stops paying or cancels or says I don't want to be here anymore and they remove themselves from the paid part of the community, they immediately get removed from the Telegram, which is nice because in school they do not have any level of integration. So it's like I'm handing out
got
people a
it.
link, and then I have MC4 in my group, and I'm like, who is this person? And then their name on school might be, you know, Susie Q, and I'm like, how the fuck is your name MC? And then you're like, well, you didn't pay, and I don't know how to kick you out, and it's just a whole fucking thing.
Ah,
So
got
yeah,
it.
there's
Yeah.
genuinely there's a lot of reasons why the Telegram
Yeah.
integration with
Yeah.
Fanbase is superior.
Fan basis support's great, dude. Like they're awesome, you know? So
That's what I've gotten so
yeah.
far. I don't have anything negative to say about Fanbases so far.
Yeah, that's great, man. Cool, bro. Well, where's the best place for people to reach out to you and kind of like chat to you? And if they have any calls to sell you or they want to get on your new platform, how do they go about it?
Yeah, so Twitter and Instagram, same shit. Billionate. I don't know how
Yeah.
we can like put that out there, but yeah,
We'll
Billionate
no,
on.
we'll plug it all
Oh,
below.
fire. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the best way. Or hit me up on LinkedIn, Nate Ancelet. Just that douchebag smoking hookah on LinkedIn. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
yeah, that's where you can
You're
find me.
yeah, awesome, bro. Well, that's exciting. Anything else you wanna leave us with?
Um, yeah, if you want to run calls, final expense or auto, hit me up. Let's go. Let's make some money.
Yeah.
And then yeah, is there anything I can do for you, bro? Like, is there anything that you're looking for? Like, what's Gabe's play right now? What are you guys doing? How can I help you?
Man, what am I doing right now?
Talk
Well,
to me.
I got another event coming up in November here, Austin, Texas. So
Let's
that's
go.
going to be fun. I love the hometown event. That's one of my
Yeah,
favorites. You know, dude, they always sell out great, which is fantastic. People love Texas, so
yeah,
doing that one. Besides that, bro, just working on the team, just growing, trying some new offers, trying some different niches. You know, trying to create my own sort of niches as well in the space, which is fun. just trying to get away from the general affiliate shit, you know?
Yeah, I
So
feel you. Why is that? Why is it not? Are you not digging the cash flow anymore? Are you trying to sell something, or why are you trying to move away from it?
no. So it's like I'm still like all the models that we go after are still sort of like affiliate style offers, just like kind of
Okay.
untapped niches in a sense where like maybe they haven't been become niches or anything like that
Yeah.
yet, you know? Like they're like there's a lot of internal or there's a lot of companies I should say that generally do what I do or do what we do, but they don't have like proper platforms to generate the leads and then like follow up on the leads and so on and so forth. And they're just doing it on a super small scale. But
Yeah.
there is margin to grow there and there's huge money, right? Like, dude, there's some niches out there that get paid like 5,000 per lead or like whatever it may be, you know, and we're
Damn.
just like nobody really looks at those and they're just
Yeah.
like, there's not enough infrastructure here to really set that up yet.
Yeah.
So I think our main thing is we're always looking for opportunities like that and moving towards stuff like that. Because like, dude, I would way rather run ads for something that pays out 5 grand than something that pays out $13, you know?
That's so interesting because I feel like there's two perspectives on that. Some people would rather rip $13 1,000 times a day because it's easier to get that conversion, or is it not easier to get that conversion?
So here's my thing. I think it's easy to get that conversion. What we find is the quality is the challenge. Like if you want me to rip
Um,
auto insurance leads all day for like $7, sure, I can fucking do it. I'll get kicked off in 2 weeks, maybe even
yeah.
sooner. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? And then
Hmm.
you're just playing the battle back and forth of like, oh, your quality sucks. Do this. And we're just like, dude, I don't know what the fuck to do. And now with the new how Facebook is making you run everything in special category, that removes like the issue or that adds the issue with like doing 60 plus in terms of like age, right? And like no
Mm.
insurance buyers want that shit for auto or home insurance or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
So now you're like, okay, how do I fucking play this game? Best way
Yeah.
is move to like rev share auto insurance. And
Hmm.
then you're going to get paid more as your quality goes up in that sense. So it's just like it's doable. And don't get me wrong, people make a shit ton of fucking money on all this stuff. But it's just I wake up every day and I was like, I can make more money easier if I just found different ways to do it. Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
Yeah.
You know, like, yeah, that's how I view everything now. As I was just like, how can I make more for doing the exact same shit that I'm doing right now?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I could imagine that. That makes a lot of sense. Because like I guess at the end of the day, we really only have the 24 hours, right? And I mean, you've been in
Yeah,
business longer than I've been in business. So that's something that I've learned. I could imagine, the wisdom you
yeah,
have.
yeah,
But like, yeah, dude, at the end of the day, no one's trying to waste time. We're trying to maximize it, right? Especially because
for sure.
you got a wife, you have is it a boy or a girl?
Yeah, boy, yeah,
Yeah, you got a little
yeah,
homie. Like, bro, come
yeah,
on. You're not trying to waste your
yeah,
time. Like, come on. We got money to make.
yeah, dude. I think like realistically too is like once you get a little bit older, and like I'm not even that fucking old, but like I'm just
No.
like, how can I make more and do less? And that's really
Yeah.
like the end goal, and that's like kind of how I wake up every day. And I've yet to find that solution, but I'm working on
Which we're all trying to figure it out, right?
it. Yeah, yeah,
But they say something about how some of the best entrepreneurs are lazy ones, and it's only because
yeah,
we're
for
always on
sure.
the hunt for like
Yeah,
finding a better way to do it.
yeah,
Um, yeah, I don't know. And that's kind of where I
yeah,
was with policy printers. I felt like again, like leveraging and making sure people pay me, stacks of cash compared to like I would
yeah,
rather collect 10, $20,000 a week from 10 different people, personally, upfront, knowing I'm gonna get paid, rather than, being able to bank out 500 grand with one buyer, but if that buyer doesn't pay me, that's
yeah,
that's 6 months of my profit, like, or you know what I mean, or whatever. It's
yeah,
8 months, 3 months, depends on
yeah,
the year. But you see what I'm saying? Like then you're cooked. So I'm just like, yeah, I'm just not trying to. Also, I want to sell
yeah,
something. Like I want to be
yeah,
able to sell something. I really want to, which
yeah.
maybe is stupid because I know most people that try to sell
No,
something
I
for
don't
like
think it's stupid, man. I
5 years,
feel
10 years.
like a majority of people that have the biggest exits have created software, right? Like it seems like
Yeah,
SaaS is always like how people get fuck you rich. I mean, there's tons of failures, don't get me wrong, but there's tons of
yeah,
failures in everything.
and
But
everything.
like
Yeah,
when you generally talk to people that have had like massive exits, it's usually related to like a SaaS product, you know, or some
yeah.
sort of tech that they've built and
AI is
implemented.
probably the new thing, right?
Dude, I feel like if you put AI in front of like anything in a title, like it'll just sell more. Like
Yeah,
even for my course, like I'm gonna do a whole section on just like all the AI tools we use. Um, it's still a fucking you're still learning how to do media buying and everything like that. We just use
yeah,
AI for like copy or whatever you want to do. But
Got it.
at the same time, just being able to say that, I feel like nerds just jump on board and be like, oh, I got this new AI system that's going to make me fucking rich. It's just like, no,
Yeah.
bro, you still got to work. You just got to like, you may like have to like tweak shit a little bit less or something, So
Yeah, I hear you. And so in your course, in your course, so what I'm thinking about with my course is I'm trying to add in another ICP. So the
yeah,
course was originally created to help people who want to come in and learn how to broker. However, I also want to add in a part for digital media buyers who want to come in that have
yeah.
done media buying for God knows what, and they want to come and learn how to do that for. Should I just be referring them to the seven-figure entrepreneur? Like, is that the name of your course, or do you have a different name for your course?
No, my course is called Locked In Leads.
Nice.
Um, but yeah, I mean, whatever you want to do, man. Like, I think that like there's a lot of good content on YouTube that people can learn from. Like
Yeah.
John Casto has a lot of good shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, it depends. My course will teach them how to do everything they need to do. I don't want to I'm not going to promote that shit by any means, but yeah, it'll teach them everything start to finish because leads and calls are very similar on the front end. The only difference is like where you're directing the ad, like,
Yeah.
and where people are going to on the LP or the landing page or whatever. But
Yeah.
yeah, man, it's just going to a phone number instead of a
Lead form.
link. So
Yeah, I
yeah,
feel you. Well, dope.
but I think there's value in that. But I think like honestly, man, stick to what you know and what you're good at, right? And then I think that like if people want to grow out from there, um, just push them somewhere else. Because
Eh.
like what I find is that once you get like too many, I don't know, man. It's a good upsell if you wanted to create it, right? But
Yeah, I just really want these guys to run my offers. You know what I mean? Like right now, I
yeah,
have a lot of like brokers that are like, "Hey, I want to run the offers," and that's fine. I love to help them, and anything I can do to be of service, I can. But like when
yeah,
I'm working with a direct media buyer, and I'm like, "No, this is how the LP needs to be done," and they're like, "Oh yeah, I get it," and then they set up tracking. But when I'm working with a broker, then they're representing somebody, and I'm like, "This is what you need to change," and they're like, "Well, I think I need to figure that out," and I'm like, fuck. You know what I mean? It's just a whole lot. So I would just grab those
yeah,
direct media buyers and be like, yo, we're gonna set up everything. Like what you were saying for ACA. I want to do that with my campaigns for media buyers. I
yeah.
was like,
And
bro,
that's smart, man.
yeah,
Dude, one thing I think that's underutilized in terms of like, so I think your problem is you want to find more media buyers that run your share, right?
yeah,
Essentially.
yeah,
I think what's underutilized right now is all these fucking Telegram groups that are just filled with basically our people. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? And nobody has offered the owners of these group, hey, can I pay you like $2,000 to do a promotional post for the next like 30 days?
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
can I just like,
yeah,
can I
facts.
do a takeover on your shit and do
Yeah,
that? And nobody does that. Nobody fucking does that. And I think that they should because the industry's there. Like these
yeah,
groups have like thousands of people in them that are literally who you want as clients.
yeah, yeah,
So,
facts. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I've got a couple people in mind. Maybe throw them some bread. Be like, come on, help a brother out. You know?
dude,
At least
yeah,
we're known for
I
doing
think
good business. Like nobody can literally not a single fucking person can sit here and say that I didn't pay them. Not a single person. And we've been doing this for 7 years. And I am significantly younger than a lot of people, and I am owed money from people older than me, more capable, more
yeah,
successful. And they're just
100%.
like, sorry, dog. And I'm just like, I will still pay my pubs. And maybe that's because I don't have kids or a wife, so I'm not like worried about it. But I'm like, fuck it, whatever. We can run
Yeah,
lean this
dude.
month, see what happens.
Yeah. I think that's just like part of business. It
100%.
just teaches you lessons along the way. So
Yeah, and who to trust and shit, who not to. But
yeah. All right, bro. Well, it's been fun. Excited
yeah,
for
same.
this.
Yeah,
And I'll include all your information below if you want to reach out to you.
right on.
And yeah, man, appreciate your time.
Let's go. I appreciate your time, dude. Thanks for putting this together, man. It was good to chat with you.
No
Sorry we
worries.
haven't
Yeah.
chopped it up really since the event, which was dope. That was a dope event, by the way.
Dude, it's all good. We're busy. We're doing shit. Like I feel like in this industry, there's no like hurt feelings if you don't reach out to people in a while because like, dude, we're all doing the same shit. Everyone's friends. We'll see each other
Yeah,
2 to 3 times a year, and
yeah.
nothing changes. So
See, why can't my 17 girlfriends feel the same way, man? I just wish.
I'll
I
see you
just
when I
wish.
see you. I'll see you when
Come
I
on,
see you.
baby. I got money
Yeah.
to make. What do you want?
Yeah. Well, good luck with that. Praying for you.
Thanks. I need
Yeah.
it.
All right. Later,
Right
man.
on. Yeah, dude. You have a good
Bye.
one. See you.